23 minutes of the quarter have gone. I think it's too much for Richmond. Roberts wins the tap down. In there is O'Connell, comes out to Stewart. Stewart tries to hook it back. He does, too far, and it could be out on the
That's Richmond and Carlton playing out last year's grand final on the MCG. The way things are, it could be a preview of this year's grand final. But unless you've a ticket, you won't see the match except on replay. What the current fight is all about is a growing demand to telecast the grand final live, once all the tickets are sold. It's never been done before, and here's why. The Victorian Football League has never allowed it, for it's made plenty of money out of the game and the TV rights without being forced into a position of allowing a live coverage of the grand final. But times are changing. Last year, in spite of the fact that all the tickets were sold, the VFL still demanded $100,000 from two commercial channels, 7 and 9, and the ABC, for the right to show the grand final direct. Not surprisingly, the commercial channels knocked that back, pointing out that it would be hard to find a sponsor when the ABC was covering the same event. So far, this year, the VFL is still saying no, unless, of course, the price is right. The VFL is also saying little more than no comment on the subject, probably because it's been a bad week for them. Not only has the football press been calling them greedy and bad sports, but the unions are saying they'll go on strike if the VFL doesn't allow live coverage. After a meeting with the unions, this was all League Director Eric McCutcheon would say.
Well, I can't add any further comments at the moment.
But what exactly are the reasons why you have been opposed to it in the
Well,
past?
I can't elaborate on that at the moment. The matters are still under discussion.
One of the more ardent supporters of live coverage is former footy umpire and now sporting commentator Harry Beitzel. He leaves no doubt as to what he thinks of the VFL's attitude.
Well, I can't understand it for the grand final, a one-hour day when it's a complete sellout. And this has been going on for years now, and all that's happened, of course, is there's greater pressure being brought on the VFL, this time by the trade union movement. But unless somebody brings pressure on them, we'll never have a live telecast of a grand final.
Well, what exactly are their reasons for saying no?
Well, the biggest reason in the past has been that it would affect country football. That no longer holds good because the country people, they want to get down and see the grand final, so they obviously all the leagues are playing their grand final either this weekend, which is a week sooner than our grand final, or they play them on a Sunday. So that no longer holds true. Their latest excuse is that if we allow the telecast this year, people may hold back from buying the series set of tickets for next year's finals. A lot of hogwash, because people queue up, they can't get the seats. But I don't believe that in any shape or form would we have any problems about selling tickets if we telecast this grand final direct and waited for a decision for the next year's grand final. And I'd like to point out something else, Paul, that we've seen, especially with this, with the Whitlam government in, and the pressures that are beginning to be brought by, the trade union movement. We could easily find the VFL having a decision made for them, which may not be a fair business decision, but it really is a game for the people. And if that was brought about, that the decision was made for the VFL, they'd lose all negotiating power.
Would you suggest we might see a bit of politics in sport?
I'm sure we will.
Just finally, do you think this sort of argument destroys the sort of spirit, if you like, of sport, of football?
Well, we've been told, have we not just recently down here by one of our top administrators, the president of the Carlton Football Club, there's no such thing as sport in football. And I would like to have challenged that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he just said there's no such thing, there's no Olympic code, we would do anything to win. And he says every other club would feel the same way. So there's no room for sportsmanship, is the quote, in league football.
Or is that what the VFL is doing anything to win? Financially?
Well, they've got to win financially because they've got such a big commitment out at Waverley. But I believe they should look at it from a real business viewpoint and at least get in early enough so that they can hold the advantage in the negotiation situation, because they'll have to negotiate for a good price. And if they have government sources or outside sources dictating to them that you telecast or else, then of course they'd lose that advantage. I think they will change next year.